Okay, so with the Cap trailer, the spot, like, did it amp you up to like want to go see it, or
Oh
did
no,
you?
it didn't have me up to go see it. Like, it's weird because like I want to go see this movie, but like the trailer, that particular trailer didn't really do anything
Yeah,
to make me want to go see it.
yeah, me same here. I feel like it just wasn't enough. It feels like they it's not even a wetting of your palate, so to speak. It was like they just threw some shit at you and they're like, "Oh, you're going to go see it anyway." So, whatever. Which is bogus. They shouldn't have done that. They should have made it more I don't know. They should have put more.
Yeah, they want to pay for more TV time during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean that's sad. They said they paid like millions of dollars for that 30-second slot and they didn't show you shit. They barely show you Cap in the costume and I'm supposed to get amped up to go spend $17 to go watch this shit in 3D. Like, yeah, no. Sorry.
Yeah, technically they shouldn't even like why bother showing shit during the Super Bowl? Like everybody's connected to the internet.
Yeah.
You know that trailer would have a regular trailer would get just as much buzz and would get just as much play and it would get all over the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it would get on message boards because people would find it and then they post it. So you would have been better off saving your money than just throwing it on
exactly.
there. Put more money into the movie.
It probably already was on the internet right before the Super Bowl because somebody somewhere with the time difference probably already had that shit. I could totally see it. I could totally see it. Okay, like, so I don't know about Cap. I might see it. I mean, I want to see it because I've been waiting to hear what they had to say. But I don't know. What did you think? Do you remember what you saw for Thor or anything like for Thor? Like, I think the long trailer that they showed back when the San Diego Comic-Con last year, that was cool because that gave you a look to see, like, this looks like it's going to be some hot shit. It doesn't look like it's going to be a piece of garbage where they didn't pay attention to the lore and, like, they switched around characters and just used famous people just for the sake of using famous people. What did you think? Do you remember?
Like I remember thinking when I came away from the trailer that this actually looks promising because I didn't really have like when I saw who was gonna play Thor and like what his costume looked like and I was like it looks like it's from what he looks like now with like the chainmail and shit.
Yeah.
But then it looked like it was something futuristic and I'm like, this is supposed to be like, mythology and it's supposed to be kind of not old, but they weren't using like computers and shit,
Yeah.
in Asgard.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like mythological looking and like almost medieval, so to speak.
Yeah, and when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, okay, this could actually work.
Yeah.
It actually looks like the two blend together. Like as far as like our Midgard or whatever they call Earth
yeah, it's Midgard
in Norse, and then the I guess Asgard's like world. It actually looks like they could coexist in I guess the same dimension or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'll actually go see this movie because at first I didn't care. I was up in the air as to whether I was going to go check it out or not, but
yeah,
the trailer actually convinced me.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't hurt that Natalie Portman is in it, so that I would see it kind of for that. I mean, not completely, but I mean.
It's weird because I know, but I wouldn't see like the Black Swan or.
Yeah, no, fuck that, nah. I don't want.
No strings attached.
Yeah, no, fuck that. I mean,
don't even know what Black Swan is about. It looks like some Baphomet shit. Underlying Baphomet shit.
It is. It's that. It's Darren Aronofsky, so it's going to be some depressing ass. Like a.
It reminds me of Eyes Wide Shut for some reason.
Yeah.
Watching the trailer.
Because it's got that depressing, fucked up feel. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, fuck that. That's why we're talking about superhero movies. Fuck that shit. Yeah, I don't know. The Thor trailer, I liked it. I hope the action is cool. What I do like the most, and I'll give him props for, because this is something that I've been wanting to see since I was a kid, is that all the Marvel movies are finding a good way to connect themselves, and I think that's why they're going back and redoing Spider-Man so that somehow they can connect the Spider-Man movie universe to all the
Sure.
other movies that they've done.
And it actually like will work for the Avengers. Like if they're smart with that, they'll show the first Avengers movie, and then at the very end of the Avengers movie, they'll show Spider-Man like how he did in the comics when he just showed up.
Yeah, like I want to be an
I wanna go.
Avenger. Yeah,
Like,
that'd be
that would be
slick.
dope.
Yeah,
It would make sense even because if they're trying to channel some of that Ultimate Spider-Man, he was Peter Parker was trying to like gear himself and prepare himself to join the Ultimates one day because he looked up to the Ultimates
yeah.
and kind of what they stand for.
Well, they're not going to do any Ultimate. They're going to rip off Ultimate stuff, but they're not going to directly reference it.
Yeah.
So, like, it'd be
It
nice.
would make sense if they at least channeled that.
It would make sense. Hopefully, they'll do something close to that. I don't know. I just, I don't know. That portion, I don't have faith in them for, because it seems like they pick and choose the, huh?
I said I don't either.
Yeah, like they pick and choose the weirdest things to like, use as a part of their or to steal from the comics to use as a part of the movie universe. And I'm like, the Ultimate comics were made to tell you how to do shit in the movies, but you keep ignoring them and you only pick like minute parts. Sometimes the best parts, because like they took that Hulk falling out of the helicopter and they could have just saved it and had someone kick Banner out of a fucking helicopter in the Avengers movie and have him turn into the Hulk when he hits the ground, and it would have been epic because no one would be expecting it because it's been so long. I mean, that the book was like over 5 years ago. Then they used it in the Hulk for no reason. It wasn't even. It was cool. Don't get me wrong, but it would have been cooler in the context.
They at least set up the reason for it.
Yeah. They did.
And at least something extreme for him to change, to override what he done to himself, to cure himself or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, we'll see. What'd you think? X-Men First Class. I don't know. Like the trailer looks okay, but the idea.
It's not Wolverine, X-Men Origins Wolverine, where they're just slamming shit together and trying to tell their own origin story, and it's just going to come out looking like garbage. Because Wolverine was hot garbage, and
yeah.
And I mean, if there are fans out there that really enjoyed it, well, I mean, that's your prerogative. But I'm not saying you need a copy. I'm not saying you need to copy everything that's in the comic.
Yeah.
But if you had at least told the Weapon X story, the original one,
yeah,
that showed up in the old Marvel. It was like two stories in one. You flip the comic upside down and there's another story on the other.
Wasn't it like Marvel Presents or some shit like that?
Yeah, like if you showed that origin story, because it was dark and I don't know, it harkened to like that golden silver age of comics. If you were able to channel some of that shit and put it in the movie, you could add a much better film instead of having
Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat. Nah, I agree. It's weird too how like the game took that steaming pile of shit and turned it good. But so like, okay, I don't understand how they got this particular team together. Like these characters, if people who've read X-Men, any incarnation of the X-Men, I remember that I stopped reading in like 2002, 2001, 2002. I stopped reading. Yeah. After all the comics started changing to mimic the X-Men films, I stopped reading X-Men. But all through my childhood up until I graduated high school, I used to read X-Men, and I'd never seen these characters together. Mystique was not on an X-Men team. Fucking Azazel was not on an X-Men team. Trying to think of the other people. Emma Frost was not on an early X-Men team because she's not as old as Professor X. So like, I don't understand. Shit, Havoc is not as old as Professor X. So why would he be on the 1960s X-Men team? Like, with Professor X and Magneto on the team, and they're young. I'm like, that...
Didn't they even have, wasn't Havoc, like...
Havoc had his own team.
Group of kids that... No, I mean, like, in the Wolverine's origin movie, wasn't he one of the kids that was imprisoned along with, like, Scott and Storm and shit?
Not Havoc. Emma Frost was, though. But they didn't... Well, okay, there was a person with Emma Frost's powers, and she was blonde. And supposedly she was, what's her name? Silver Fox's sister. But I'm like, last time I checked, Native Americans don't come in the blonde variety unless they dye their hair. But yeah, so like if Silver Fox looked like that, I don't know how her sister's gonna look like Emma Frost. But you know, whatever. I don't know everything, so maybe they knew something I don't. But I don't know. That it didn't make sense. Beast is on the team too, which would make him really old when we saw him in the other movie. But I don't care because he kind of seems like he should be older than the others. It just seems weird. Why didn't they just make it?
Not that old.
Yeah, he wouldn't be that old, but he'd be older. Like, why didn't they just make it, you know, Iceman, Archangel, Marvel Girl, Cyclops, and, well, he was Angel back then, not Archangel.
Yeah.
And I'm missing somebody. There's like
that's it. There's only 5 of them. Iceman.
Oh, Iceman, Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Beast, and Angel. Yeah, you're right. They should have just done that shit. Because that's a decent little team right there. Instead, now they're going to try to, I don't know, overdo it.
Tied in with the other movies because the other X-Men movies, like you come into the first movie when they recruit Wolverine, so
yeah,
it would make sense. Like they were slowly building the team you know now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wonder if what they're trying to do is reboot the series by using this strange, like, mishmash of characters, so that when the next one comes out, they can put together a team that would be ideal for the film and not necessarily follow what was in the comics, which would kind of suck because that alienates the comic book readers because we know all the characters individually, but we don't know them as a team like this. And the whole point of going to the...
If they rebooted anyway, then why not just start from scratch?
Yeah. I mean, you know, maybe that's what they're doing.
This roundabout way.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. But from what I've seen, like, the quality of what I've seen, what I saw in the trailer, it looks fine. It doesn't look bad. But the idea and the quality and, like, what you actually see, they don't fully mesh for me. Like, it feels like the idea of having those mixed up team just doesn't work for me. But seeing, you know, a young Professor X and a young Magneto, like, right up to where they, you know, kind of their friendship dissolved, kind of seems cool. It seems like a cool idea. I guess we got to see more because it's just pretty much a teaser, so it wasn't really enough for us to be like, I hate this shit. This is garbage.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. But at least that one they're doing, I'll give them props because it's kind of ambiguous whether or not you should hate it or not. So it might be worthwhile, you know?
I don't know, my spider sense is tingling towards hate. I still can't get the bad taste off that Wolverine movie out of my mouth.
Yeah, man. God.
It's just, I mean, like, they didn't put Maverick in the movie, which would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, or Omega Red.
Maverick was my favorite character, but he was part of the team. He was part of that Weapon X team, and he did play, like, an important role.
Yeah.
Or even, like, Mastodon, just because he was a powerhouse. Like, why have the Blob in there?
Yeah. And why change? Why make him, like, an amalgam of, like, all these other characters that actually were people in Weapon X? Like, you know what I mean? How, like, the first version of the Blob, he wasn't the Blob yet. He was all muscular and he was all tough and shit.
Yeah.
And then, like, some girl disses him and then he eats and then that's what he becomes. I'm like, come on, man. That makes sense to you? Like, why didn't you just have 2 separate characters and give them their 2 separate, you know, explanations? Or why not just not put the Blob in there?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it'd be awesome. Let's make a fat guy and use special effects in a fat suit. Like, that shit's annoying. It's so annoying.
Once again, they should just put Mastodon in there because he was big and strong anyway.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's like people, they just don't want to read the subject matter. They just want to make their own mythology, but they want to capitalize off the pre-existing material. And I think that's unfair.
It would have been even cooler if they had made Silver Fox part of the team like she originally was. And then her and Wolverine defect and go off and do their own thing.
Yeah.
That way you got the whole Weapon X people are mad at them for leaving, so they find a way, and they want Wolverine back anyway, so they find a way to get him back by using her.
Yeah.
Instead of having her betray him and then end up dead anyway.
And that whole thing, we already know how bad that was. Shit, we should do one on just Wolverine, but I think everybody by now knows how fucked up that story was because they failed on so many levels. But I don't know. I'm gonna jump to I don't know. I think just for this we should drink and do that. That would be awesome. Oh man.